over the summer, I was expecting to have one of the best summers ever when it came to trail cam picks. And that was exactly it. I mean, that was true. I got all kinds of big bucks. But one thing that happened was the HD. And I did not predict how bad it was going to be. But you know what? You overcome some obstacles, and I mean, that's out of our control. But this season was going to be a challenge, to say the least, but I'm all up for it. Well, my worst dream just came true. Worst nightmare, I should say, just came true. First EHD deer I found of the year. It's hitting here at home. Not good. Driving down the road on a four-wheeler. I can smell this guy. This is ridiculous. Completely out of hand. Oh my gosh. And that makes for number 2 EHD deer today. First EHD deer on this farm. Not good. And was just driving by real quick on the four-wheeler on the trails, put out cameras on scrapes, and smelled something, and I looked, and for sure I saw a pond right here. And this is a new farm I've never hunted before, and I got a whiff of something and knew what it was. I knew it was dead deer. Came down here in the timber, and it didn't take me 15 seconds to find them. Very quickly, it went from an incredible year that it was going to be to extremely challenging. Deer were falling right and left everywhere, and it was just out of control. But you know what? I was trying to stay optimistic because the one deer that I really wanted to go after this fall, he was still alive. After a questionable summer with the HD, you know, I continued to drive around and film velvets, and let's just say it definitely kept me optimistic for what the season's going to have in store.
Successful night scout so far. There's 5 or 6 mature deer out here right now. Crazy. None of them are absolute giants, but they're definitely good deer. What deer is that?
He's got a good frame on him. You tell what he is, Chris?
This deer?
The one on the right. He's got a good frame on him. As the summer progressed, you know, I was doing my routine things, you know, trail cameras, hanging tree stands, doing everything you do every year, preparing for the season. But nonetheless, I can't control EHD, but the best thing I can do is start scouting more than ever before, and hopefully I'll find something to chase. All right, guys, so I set the camera up today on a big alfalfa field here. I got permission on last night. I was out here glassing and saw a big bachelor group where there's multiple shooters, I believe, and they're all bucks that I've been trying to get on camera on farm over the hill where I can hunt. So I put out some white gold dust here today, and hoping to have some pictures of them here in the next couple of days. We'll see what I get for photos here the next few nights. As October came to a close, November came in hot, and here was the problem. I'd hunted really hard in October and kind of started slacking on my work. So I just decided, hey Ian, you gotta reprioritize a bit and really focus on work. It was the first year of me being self-employed, and that really presented a giant challenge to me. I got into real estate, and now I don't have a steady income coming in, and it's all up to me and how hard I wanna work. Well, in November, you know, I naturally wanna be in a tree, but the thing is, you know, you got to pay the bills, right? So as we started into November, I wasn't hunting much. You know, I was kept working and working and working all day, every day. And then one night, a buddy texted me and asked me if I was hunting the next day. And I know I didn't intend to. I was planning on working like normal. And he asked me if I wanted to go out in the morning. Well, you know, when I think of hunting in the morning, well, okay, I'll say I'll go out for 3-4 hours and be home by 9-10 o'clock at least, and then have the rest of the day to work. You know, I could work late. Well, that's exactly what I did. I told my men, let's go hunting. It was gonna be a run and gun type of a deal, just set up on some field edges. It's supposed to be windy, cold, nasty, rainy, and we were just gonna more or less just walk some fence lines, glass some CRP fields of cover, and see if we could catch something bedded up and make a move on them. So when I got up on November 8th in the morning, I went to meet up with my buddy, and it was nasty. I mean, it was windy as all, spitting rain, and really cool, but I didn't know what we were gonna see, to be honest with you. But, you know, as a farm I hadn't spent much time on or ran cameras on, but there's always been a lot of deer there. So I was pretty optimistic we could at least see something. And Garrett actually already killed a buck there too this year. So we were walking down the fence line, walking down the CRP and doing our thing, just glassing, and next thing I know, I look over, sure enough, a shooter walks right out of the corn 50 yards away and just looks at us. Immediately I dropped to the ground with my bow, told buddy to get down. I have to pull the camera out of my pocket because I was trying to keep it from getting rained on. And I start filming him, had to get some pre-roll of him somehow, and start filming him, and he just stands there and just looks at us, trying to figure out what the heck we are. And he couldn't tell. I mean, the wind was perfect in our favor, right across our face. And I end up getting up, arrange them, and then I end up standing up. I handed the camera off to my buddy, and he got on him. I stood up and just pulled back, anchored, and I mean, he would not turn sideways for me for the life of me. He was trying to figure out what we were. So you know what? I buried it in his chest.
He's coming this direction. Got him.
And I can tell you right now, those FMJs drove.
Dude. That is a giant. That's what 60s, dude. That was 65 yards and I put it on my head. And I was shaking like a leaf.
Dude, that much arrow's in him. As soon as that arrow impacted, I knew it was good. I mean, it buried up in his chest, and he took off running. I grabbed the camera back, filmed him running off, and I knew he was gonna be bedded and gonna be in big trouble. What ended up happening, it was 11 o'clock in the morning when I shot him, so decided to back out. I had some real estate appointments, so I backed out, was gonna come back in the evening. Well, and this time I had my buddy Mike Grandstaff with me, and I don't know, he's like a blood tracking machine. What we thought was gonna be a very easy track job actually changed very quickly. We found actually where he bedded. You know, we thought he'd go into the draw, bed, be done. Well, what ended up happening was my worst fear. He bedded down and coyotes jumped him and pushed him. Up there to the right, yeah. Might be his bed. Well, we got blood finally. We've got a big bed of his right there. Yeah, he's bleeding real good now. Now we kind of have an idea where he went, so we got a good idea. He's down here in spot, so. That just turned into probably the hardest track job I've ever actually been a part of. And, you know, we started following blood drop by drop, and next thing I know, we're a half mile away. We talked to the neighbor. He gave me permission to go in there and look for my deer. And thank goodness I had Mike with me, kept me optimistic, because I was going on my knees, and I swear I found a drop of blood the size of a pin drop every 100 yards. And it got to the point where there's a draw that comes up with a little ditch in it, like a drainage ditch, and then it's a whole bunch of cedars. So at this point, I'm like, great. So either he's in this ditch or he's in this thick, nasty stuff that is a zoo, and there's no way on earth I'm gonna find him. And as soon as I thought that, Mike's like, hey, there's a dead deer over here. Mike just found him. You kidding me? Gotta be. That's him, man. That's him. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, buddy.
Are you kidding me?
Not the way we like to find him, but
not the way we like to find him in that creek. He went, how far did he go, man? But this deer,
Half a mile.
this buck went at least half a mile. All in all, it was a fantastic year this year. I mean, we laid down a lot of big deer. I managed to somehow get one with my bow when I didn't think it was going to. You know, sometimes when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So 2020 is looking great because there's a lot of good deer that did survive VHD, and honestly, I cannot wait.